Go ahead, fire away.
What did you feel best about Saturday?
It was physical, but I was really impressed with the way, the third down stuff was really good. So I thought we did a really good job of covering people in the back end and allowing some of our dynamic guys to get to the QB. But really, at the end of the day, it's players making plays, and the guys that normally make plays for us really showed up big. So it started with controlling the run game, got him in the third down, did a really good job of covering them, which allowed, the guys up front to get to the QB.
It was a breakout game for Jake, 2 sacks.
Excuse me?
It was a breakout game for Jake.
Yeah, but I think it goes back to the guys covering. They're all skillful enough, they're all taught well enough to be able to get to the quarterback, but it's always seems in the past it's just, a half a second late. But it just goes back to the back end. They did a really good job. QB had to go through a handful of reads, and by that time we were able to get to him. So it's a combination. Anytime those guys do well up front, maybe Drake once in a while just beat a guy really, really clean. But most of the time it just goes into the quarterback having to get off his first and second read, and you have time to go get him.
In his case, though, he was playing a lot. Is he giving you more than you expected this season?
Is he playing better?
Is he giving you more than you expected?
I thought highly of him. Coming into the season with it, but just, he's changed his body. I said this earlier in the year that I thought a little bit too lean, but he put some weight on, became a little bit stouter, still has to play with some better pad level, but, starting to see some of the traits of a long guy that's physical, and that's what he's starting to turn into.
When it comes to Raylan, how do you prep him this week, given that he will miss a half?
Well, we're working on with the second group, so I just want whoever that is, and obviously we're going to hold that in-house, but we want them to be comfortable with the first unit and all the communication, but we're going to rep them around. We're going to give them opportunities to play both positions, and I know he'll be itching, to get out of that locker room and get back in there, and he will be back in when we start the third quarter.
You haven't had Max as a rookie for a long time.
Yeah.
What are your early impressions of what he's doing?
He's a great kid. That was the first thing, and when Dante approached him with this, and hey, is this something you want to do? I think he went in and embraced it, and then. I think he looks at it, he has an advantage when he plays low, that he's hard to move around, and he's really changed his body. That's the thing is, he came in very, very heavy, like most young guys do, but he's lost a whole bunch of weight, and he still has a little bit more to go, and then, he can be as dynamic as he wants to be. He's just changing his body continually, but I just love him as a kid. We put him out in the field on that one goal line play, and, we misfitted the play, and he came up to me on the sidelines and had his head down, thinking that he didn't do what he was supposed to do. And I said, no, big boy, you did exactly what we asked you to do. So as we continue on with him, you're going to see more and more of him on the field.
What stands out to you about Utah's offense?
Just their run game. Their run game is dynamic. Their quarterback is very accurate. I go back to my Texas days with Cam, and he can make a lot of throws. So that's what they are. Going to be tough, fundamental, well coached, and we know they're going to try to run the football at us right off the bat.
They've running back there has broken a lot of tackles this year.
Yeah.
Where do you feel like you guys are tackling right now?
No, it's not great. You could watch the film. Collectively, we got to get better in space, and that's where we've been struggling right now. Just taking angles and and just being confident. I think there's a confidence level that goes into I'm not the only guy out here on the field, that there's going to be people running to the football, and then when you have 2 or 3 people at the football, the percentages will go way high up in the air. But when guys are one-on-one in space, there's some hesitation, and we just got to eliminate it. Go after the guy, take your best shot, change the speed of momentum, but more importantly, define it for the other guys that are chasing the football. Sometimes when you just sit there and you're unsure what you're going to do, and if I'm running behind him and he's unsure, then I'm unsure. So just go take your shot, slow him down, and we'll reel him in with people pursuing to the football.
Do you feel like tackling has regressed as the season's gone on? Is it an opponent thing?
No, it hasn't regressed. We work at it every day. So it's one of those things where, like I said before, it's a collection of bodies. Anybody that's ever played this game is going to miss a tackle. Now it just goes to getting people to run to the football and just eliminate space.
When Max came over, it seemed like anytime he did anything early on, the defensive line would get fired up.
Yeah.
What have you seen kind of just emotionally with what he's added over there?
Oh, he does. He's, I think at first the guys were like, let's see how this goes. And then they see his skill set. And it's like, this is real stuff. If he plays with leverage, he's a big human being and he's hard to move. But the thing I think everybody loves about Max is just his approach. He's steady Eddie. He's a very likable kid. He cares a lot. And I think, once we put him in there and he said, oh, man, this is something I can do. And now with Vic coaching him now, teaching him the finer arts of this, you're a big guy, but you still have to play with pad level, hand placement, all those things. Now he's starting to get better. So as he continues on, we're going to continue to play him. He adds some stoutness here. And, I have not been around a person like that. Just got to work on just the fundamental traits, and he's going to be fine.
So what do you expect to get out of Figueroa this week?
It plays, it's just one of those things where just continue. He's a veteran, he knows our system, and just continue to make plays. That's the biggest thing.